Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Everly Junior. I missed you guys. It's been a minute. I keep on saying that. Like I feel like I don't know, a broken record. So welcome to my channel. This is Everly Junior. If you don't know me, and I normally talk about relationships. I normally talk about life. I normally inspire people. And yeah, so welcome to my channel. And don't forget to hit the subscription button below, and also leave your comments. And I'll be open to just discussing topics with you. So my topic of today is how to recognize an avoidant. So for those of you who don't know what an avoidant is, I wrote down the meaning of an avoidant. So basically an avoidant is someone who is relating to or denoting a type of personality or behavior characterized by avoidance of intimacy or social interaction. So basically it's someone who avoids just getting intimate with people, like really getting to know people so much. So they prefer to just be by themselves, and they just prefer living, not getting too close to people, basically. So I wrote down a few points on how you can be able to recognize if someone is an avoidant, because I don't know, I feel like there are many, they become so many, because I've met a lot of people who are actually avoidant, and you wonder like why, how it doesn't add up. So number one, they often present themselves as self-sufficient and usually insist on their need for personal space. So I love being self-sufficient, but I don't know if I'm an avoidant, but I love being self-sufficient. But if you can get help, like I don't mind. So I don't think I'm an avoidant. Yeah. So yeah, basically, so they just love doing everything for themselves. So you find them, they're by themselves, they do everything for themselves. They have everything, like they actually like don't need people. They can live in an island by themselves and they'll survive. So they just are like that, and they don't like depending on people. So I don't know if it's something that happened to them maybe when they were kids, that they couldn't rely on their guardian or whoever was bringing them up. I don't understand like how it comes to be like when you feel like you don't need anyone to survive. So then the second point is they usually detach emotionally and have a discomfort of intimacy. So usually they just seem distant and they seem aloof. They're not even excited, they're nonchalant. Like let's say in a dating situation, you text this person and then they're just there, like, hey, how are you doing, it's been a minute, how is your day? And then they're like, fine. And then they even take long to reply. They take hours to reply. They can even reply the next day. So you wonder like what's up with this person, and they claim to be interested in you. So you wonder what's going on. Like if you're interested, are you interested in me? Are you not interested in me? So it really is a roller coaster. So they usually just and they're kind of emotionally unavailable. Yeah, and it's like they fear intimacy. Then the other point is also they avoid conflict like the plague. They don't like conflict. Whenever you raise an issue, probably you tell them, I don't like the way you don't communicate on time. Maybe you leave me guessing, you leave me hanging. I don't like that. Kindly correct that. So it's like they don't like conflict. So they'll avoid it, or they'll just be okay, and that's it. They just don't like discussing things, like, I don't know why. Instead of just being able to discuss things and coming to you come into an agreement, they don't like that. I don't know why. So then the other point is also they prefer being alone, especially when stressed out. So instead of reaching out to people, sometimes if you maybe you're going through something, most of the time you reach out to maybe your family. You're like, oh, I'm not feeling well, this is what's happening in my life. So most of them tend to just withdraw and not reach out to people and just try and deal with the stress themselves. So you wonder, sometimes you have a friend and they just withdraw all of a sudden, and you're wondering like what's going on, and you come to find out later that they were going through something. So instead of opening up to you and telling you, this is what I'm going through, I need your support, they don't do that. So most of them just tend to just withdraw whenever they're going through something. Then the other point is also they struggle to voice out their needs. So since they are so detached, they're so aloof, they don't voice out their needs. So maybe they've noticed something with you, or maybe they were not pleased by something that you did to them. Instead of like telling you, they'll just keep quiet and go quiet, and you wonder what did I do? You left rethinking the situation, maybe rethinking how you guys met, thinking about how maybe the conversations we've had. You're like, oh my god, what did I say? So they just leave you wondering like what happened, instead of like telling you, I didn't like this, I would love you to maybe communicate this. I would love you to maybe understand that I'm like this and I'm like that. So they don't really voice out their needs. So it's like you can never tell what's going on in their mind. They're in just a different world, a completely different world. Like, they don't open up to you easily. Yeah. Then the other point is also they have an innate fear of vulnerability. So since they're so detached, they don't want to be vulnerable. They don't want to show you their side that's vulnerable. They want you to see them like as having everything in control, as everything is just perfect. They don't want to share maybe what they've experienced, their traumas. They don't want to share that. They don't want to seem weak. Because some people believe when you're vulnerable, you're weak, but that's not the case. It's just you opening up to someone, and just dropping down your walls, just to be able to have an intimate moment with someone. So it's like they don't do that at all. They just tend to fear. They tend to shy away from vulnerability. Then the other point is also they often act hot and cold. So since they are just they don't communicate well, so sometimes they can come to you, they're like so excited, oh, we should go out, we should plan a date, oh, can I video call you, can I talk to you? They call you on phone, and the next thing they just cold, like from so hot to cold. So it's like a roller coaster ride. You can't even predict like what will happen with this person. So the avoidant is like that, and I don't understand. Maybe they get into a wave of like one day they are into you, one day they're, oh, you're my friend, you should do this, you should do that, and then the next day they just shut down. They're completely different person, so you can't even predict what will happen with them. Then the other point is also their conversations tend to be superficial. So since they don't want to get deeper, they don't want to be vulnerable, they don't want to tell you the inner secrets, they don't want to tell you what they've been through in their lives, they tend to, their conversations are just shallow. Oh, hi, how's the weather? Oh, hi, how are you doing? Oh, okay, we should, just superficial. They don't want to go in depth. They don't want to tell you about what has happened probably in their lives. Sometimes even shocked, like, oh, this happened. Maybe they were fired from work, they didn't even tell you. Maybe they have issues, maybe the family, and they don't even open up to you. So you just have just superficial conversations, and that's it. Even if it's someone you're dating, you find that the conversations are not leading anywhere. They're just so flat. What did you do? What are you doing? What are you eating? Oh, that's it. So it's so superficial. And then they fault find in order to create distance. So some of them tend to just find fault in you. They'll just start a fight from out of nowhere, just to make you just kind of like pull away from them. So sometimes they just create something, out of the blue, so that you can be able to pull away and just leave them alone. I don't know why that happens. And then they come back. That's why you find most of the time they're hot and cold. They go, they come back. They go, they come back. They disappear for 3 days, they come back. So they're just so weird, so you don't even understand like what's going on. Then they are prone to ghosting or not keeping promises. So since they like it hot and cold, since they are not open, since they fear, especially when you're getting too close to someone, maybe you're creating a friendship, or you're just getting to know this person in dating. You guys are dating, and you're slowly asking them questions, you're slowly getting to know them. They don't want you to really know them so well. They kind of freak out, and then they can ghost you just out of the blue, or they'll tell you, oh, we need to go somewhere. Oh my god, have you seen that restaurant? We need to check it out. Oh, what's your favorite food? Where do you like going to eat? And then they disappear. So most of the time they're just ghosters. I don't know what happens. I don't know if they're so scared of commitment to the point that, and this is the next point, they're very scared of commitment. So I don't know what happens to them. So most of them just ghost, and I feel like it's cowardish to be able, is that a word? The cowardish? Coward. They're cowards because they just disappear. Instead of just telling you like, I'm not in the headspace to be dating, I'm not in the headspace maybe for a friendship, they just continue to, maybe they just ghost you and leave you hanging instead of telling you what is going on with them. Yeah. Then the other point is also they avoid commitment. So since they lack all that, they lack accountability, by the way. They don't like, when you've made a mistake, let's say as a person, a normal person, okay, I'm not saying they're normal, but like when you make a mistake, you normally just are like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't know that I hurt you, sorry about that, it will never happen again. But for them, they just kind of avoid that whole situation and even make you feel like you're the one who's guilty and you're the one who's supposed to be, apologized to. So they're just afraid of commitment, and they avoid commitments like they play, especially when you start asking them, okay, so what do you want, what do you need, as in what do you think this is heading to, where do you think this is heading to? They just freak out and they're like, oh, we'll see how it goes, time will tell, they're just shallow. Yeah, and I think I've said that they have like shallow conversations. So also the last point is they're inconsistent when it comes to communication. So since they are hot and cold, they don't like they are here, they're there, they just you can't really tell what's going on with them. So they're very inconsistent when it comes to communication. So maybe you expect them to call you or to text you at a certain time, they don't do that. Very inconsistent. They'll call you one day, they'll keep quiet even a whole week, come back after a week like nothing happened. Then they won't even explain themselves, like, oh my god, I'm so sorry this happened. Or even when they explain themselves, it will just feel so weird, it doesn't feel natural. So you'll wonder, like, are you really sorry that you went MIA? Are you really sorry? Like, why are you sorry? Like, if you, as in, they just keep you wondering, like, if they're really into you or they're not into you. So it's just weird. So yeah, so those are the points that I had for you today. So if you have any more points on avoidance, or maybe you're an avoidant, like, you could explain to us, like, what happens in your mind, like what leads you to become like that, and why, like, do you not want to interact with people, and why do you also go for people if you can't, why go to a person if you don't want them, if you don't want to interact with them, if you don't want to go the whole 9 yards? Like, why would you show interest in someone and then later act funny? It doesn't make sense to me. So thank you so much for watching. This has been your girl Everly Junior. Until next time, take care, bye.